Hi, in this video we're going to look at how to loop through each element in an array or each character in a string using a for loop. In the previous video we looked at how to use for loops to count or to repeat a block of code a set number of times, but in this video we're going to look at how to make for loops a little bit more useful when maybe we want to process each element in an array or each character in a string, or we might want to use it to search for something in an array or a character in a string. Okay, so we'll work through a couple of different examples. In the first example, I'm going to create an array of users, and I'm going to use a for loop to go through and display each person in that list of people or users. So I'm going to create an array called users, and in this array I'm just going to have some usernames. So we'll go with the Simpsons theme here. We'll have Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie. Okay, so that's our array of users. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 users in this array. Okay, so now we can construct a for loop. Alright, and in the parentheses, first thing we do is create the counter variable. I'll call that I and set that to 0. Now, it's important that we set this to 0 because with arrays, each element in an array has an index or a position, and it starts counting from 0. So Homer is element or index 0, Marge is 1, Bart is 2, Lisa is 3, and Maggie is 4. So if we want to start getting all of the elements in this array, but we want to start from the first one, then we need to make sure that we start from 0, not from 1. Okay, so we'll set I to 0, and then we're going to repeat this for loop over and over again while I, the counter I, is less than the length of this array, or the number of elements in this array. So there's 5 elements in this array, so we'll keep repeating the loop while the counter is less than 5. Once the loop reaches the last element in this array, which is Maggie, then the loop will stop after that. Okay, so we'll say I is less than users.length. We can use the length method to get the length or the number of elements in the array. And then the loop will increase by 1, or the counter will increase by 1 each time the loop runs. All right, now in our curly brackets, this is where we can write the code we want to repeat each time the loop iterates. Okay, and this counter I is actually going to come in really handy because we can use I to represent the index of each element we want to access in this array. So I is going to start from 0. So in the first iteration of the loop, we can say get element 0 from the users array, which will be Homer. And then when I increases by 1 for the next iteration of the loop, we can use that counter I, which will be 1, to access element 1, which is Marge. And then the next iteration, I will be 2, so we can access element or index 2 in the users array, which is Bart, and so on. Okay, so to test it out, let's say we'll do console.log. We'll reference the array, which is called users, and then in square brackets, we'll put in the name of that counter variable, which is I, and then a semicolon at the end of that line. What this is going to do is, in each iteration of the loop, it's going to get the users array and access whatever value is stored in index I. And I is going to start from 0, so the first iteration of the loop, it'll get Homer. And then in the second iteration of the loop, I will increase by 1, so it'll be 1. So we'll get Marge, which is in index position 1, and then Bart in index position 2, Lisa in 3, and Maggie in 4. Okay, let's test that out. Let's go and refresh that page. And there we go, we see all of those elements in the array. So this could be quite useful if maybe we had an array of users and we wanted to display the list of users on a web page. We might use a for loop to create, we might have a list, an unordered list or an ordered list on our page, and we could use a for loop to add each item to the list and display it on a page. All right, now just to see the indexes, we could do, we could say something like this: user I is users I. So what this will do is say user 0 is Homer, user 1 is Marge, and so on. Just like that. So remember, I is the index, which acts as a counter in this loop, but can also be used to access each element in an array. And when we reference the array and put the counter in the square brackets, then we're actually getting the value that's stored in that element in the array. Okay, now we can do the same thing with strings. So let's say we had a string. We can use a for loop to go through each character in the string, whether it was a word or a sentence or whatever it was. We can use a for loop to go through each character one by one. All right, so we could create a for loop. We could say I equals 0, I is less than word.length, and then I plus plus. Now, if we only wanted to go through the first few characters of this string, or the first few elements of this array, we don't have to say I is less than word.length or I is less than users.length. We can say something like I is less than 3 or 4, and the loop would stop when the counter reached that number. But finding out the length of an array or a string is a good way of doing it, because if the length of the array changed over time, if values or elements were deleted or added, then we don't need to change the number in the loop. It's going to be able to adapt to whatever the length of the array or the string is. Okay, and it also prevents errors. For example, if right now we have 5 elements in our users array, so the maximum index is 4, we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we had a for loop that said something like this, for I is less than 10, then what it's going to be trying to do is it's going to keep counting past Maggie and try and display users that don't exist, or elements that don't exist in the array, so which will cause an error. So it's really good practice to reference the length of an array or the length of a string when we're going through a string or an array with a for loop. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is say console.log word and then I, and run that, and then we can see each individual character from that string is displayed on a separate line. It's displaying a different character in each iteration of the loop. Okay, now at the moment we're just displaying either elements from an array one by one or characters from a string one by one, but for loops are very useful for processing. So for example, if we wanted to go through a list of users and search for a particular user and see if they exist in the list of users, we could use a for loop to do that. If we wanted to go and replace certain values in a list, or maybe replace letters in a string with another letter, we could also do that. So for example, here in our for loop for the users, we might say we might replace that code and we might say if users I is equal to Bart, then we can log in the console, found Bart. All right, if we were to run that code, we see found Bart. If we remove Bart from the array, then we're not going to see that message. So that's a little very basic search algorithm that we could create in a for loop to go through an array and see if something exists in there. All right, we could also use it for strings as well. Let's say we ask the user to set a password when they're creating an account, and we might want to go through that password and just check, does it meet the minimum security requirements? Does it contain at least one letter, one number, one uppercase letter, and one symbol? All right, we could use a for loop to go through each character in the string and check if there's at least one of those things in there. If we wanted to go through and check that the first letter of somebody's full name, each name, it starts with an uppercase letter, we could go through using a for loop and replace the letters, make sure they're uppercase, that kind of thing. So or we can replace elements from an array with another element. Alright, so that's how you use for loops to go through elements in an array and characters in a string. There is one more method, I'll just show you, and it's called the for of loop, just before we end this tutorial. So let's say we want to go through all of the users in this array again. What I've got highlighted here, that's one method of doing it. There is another method which is just a bit shorter, and that's the for of loop. So we can say for, and then like a placeholder value, we can just call it x. For x of users, console.log x. So what that will actually do is it'll go through the array and display each of the users in the array. I'll just delete that block of code for now. I'll just delete that for now. Go and refresh the page, and we see all of the users in that array, just like we did before, but the code is now a little bit shorter. X is being used as a placeholder, a value to represent each element in this array. As the loop repeats each iteration of the array, X is going to be the next user in each iteration. Anyway, that's just another method. That's called the for of loop. And there are some other methods that we'll look at in some of the upcoming tutorials, including for in loop and a for each loop as well. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.